So I thought I'd take a little break and tell you about my experience today. Um, yes, physicians get sick, and I never thought it would happen to me, but I'm 62 years old, and my family doctor, my internist, found a heart murmur a couple of years ago. It was new. So I had an echo done in my heart, and then I had a transesophageal echo, and that's what I want to describe to you so you know what you're looking at when you have to go through one of these things. So, there's four chambers of the heart separated by these valves. And my problem was in the mitral valve, which is in the left side of my heart. So the blood comes up the vena cava, which is the main vein that drains the legs and the upper body, drains into the right atrium. And from there, it goes through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle, which is the right side of the heart, pumped up there through the pulmonic valve into the lungs, where it then gets oxygenated, comes back into the left side of the heart through the mitral valve, which is the left atrium, through the mitral valve into the left ventricle, and from there pumped out through the aortic valve into the body. That's oxygenated blood. Well, I had a leaking mitral valve that was detected by echo after my internist heard a new murmur on me a couple of years ago, and it's been stable, but the echo, the last time I had it in December, showed no significant changes. The standard echo is what's called a transthoracic echo, where you go to your cardiologist and he puts jelly on you, or his technologist puts jelly on your chest, and has you lean towards the left, and they take images of your heart chambers and the function of your heart valves. And it's a great screening test. They can tell a lot about how well the heart is contracting, the valve function, of the four valves in the heart. How well the right side's pumping, how well the left side's pumping, and they can kind of get some estimates of the pressures inside the heart and how well your heart is functioning. The so-called ejection fraction, that's how much of the blood that gets pumped out with each cycle of the heart into the body, and that's an estimate. So my echo had been stable, but my cardiologist recommended that I get a transesophageal echo because the nature of my mitral valve problem, again, that's the left side of the heart between the left atrium and the left ventricle, the nature of it was a little bit different from normal mitral valve problems. And so I had my echo today, transesophageal echo. And the reason for going through transesophageal echo is it gives you a better picture of what's going on. It's a much more detailed, I guess, accurate presentation of what's going on with your heart valves and your heart function. And so it's a little bit more invasive. The transthoracic echo is just a jelly on your chest. You just kind of get it done. There's nothing really to it. But esophageal echo is where a probe is put down your mouth into the esophagus, which is the main tube that joins when you eat something, it kind of takes that food down into your stomach. And so the tube is put down into the esophagus, and that area then is used to scan the heart with ultrasound. So it sounds horrible, and I had some trepidation about it, but actually it was actually a piece of cake. But let me describe it to you so you know what it's about. But anyway, essentially, I went in, they gave me an IV, drew blood, and, whatever, and then met an anesthesiologist. Pretty standard stuff. So they put an IV in you, turn your left side down a little bit, and then they put a bite block in you after they've given you anesthesia. Bite block is, just so you don't bite down on the tube. So it's a circular structure with the surrounding kind of plastic cover that prevents you from biting down onto the tube that goes into your stomach. So left side down, anesthesiologist gave me propofol. Let me tell you something, man, that stuff, it's just like magic. 1 minute I was awake, next minute it's like, boom, waking up. And so with minimal hangover effects. The worst part of it was not eating and not having coffee all day. Man, I had a fierce headache from that. So as soon as I got done, I had a cup of coffee and feel great. But anyway, give you the propofol. The anesthesiologist gives you propofol. And then the cardiologist who's doing the transesophageal echo then puts the tube for the transesophageal echo. It's a plastic, a tube that essentially goes in through the bite block area there, goes down into your esophagus. So there's the trachea, which is a breathing component. Esophagus is the swallowing component. So it goes down the swallowing tube, down into your chest area there inside the tube. And from there, the cardiologist can look at the heart valve function and look at how well that heart valve is functioning, how much regurgitation there is in the valve, or if there's tightness in the valve, stenosis in the valve. It can kind of get a better assessment of that. And so, the result of that was that the cardiologist told my wife afterwards that I probably need to have repair my mitral valve leaflet that's leaking. So I'll detail this as I go through, just for everybody's information. But what happens is that then I'm going to go see the cardiac surgeon, and they're going to kind of talk to me about fixing the mitral valve. I don't feel bad. I feel great. I have no shortness of breath, no dizziness, nothing, no signs and symptoms of mitral valve problems. But I guess my heart valve leaflet is leaking enough with this concern that it could cause me problems somewhere down the line. So I'm going to go see the cardiac surgeon and then make a decision at that point. But just to detail to you that what this whole business involves, the transthoracic echo, transesophageal echo, you shouldn't be scared of it. It actually is a piece of cake, honestly. Having good cardiologists, good anesthesiologists, monitoring you. Propofol, by the way, was a drug that unfortunately Michael Jackson was using, and we use it a lot in surgery. My anesthesiologists use it a lot. It's a very good and safe drug in the right hands. I mean, you have to have the right people monitoring you for these medications like propofol. But anyway, I'll tell you what the cardiac surgeon says. But next time we'll go back to peripheral vascular disease. But I just thought this would be interesting for people to hear about transesophageal echoes and what that involves. When I got done, the propofol wore off, got my IV out, went home. Feel great.